Hello there, and welcome to another deep dive. Yes, we are deep diving into another faction again. And this one is a really good movie that was underrated but not needed, showing that there was light for the Disney franchise until they ruined it. Anyways, I should be able to auto this. I trust it. Anyways, we are going to dive into Rogue One, which is really an interesting team because, there's a bunch of Rogue One characters in the game. You got these five, you got Scarif you got Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, and you also have Pow and Biston. I'm sorry, it was blinking. But all of in Bodhi Rook. Bodhi is needed for a ship, or is not needed for a ship, and Chirrut and Base are not needed for a ship, but the other six are needed for a ship, so you kind of need to start them up and at least unblock them anyways for Rebel ships. And since the Rebel ships are a second tier backup fleet in the game anyways, so it just kind of, works out in a really nice way to be able to use this squad for more than just PvP and PvE aspects. Now, granted, they are needed for health, or not health, for Hoth territory war for the light side, or for territory battles on the light side, which, we get it, we understand, that's a good use for them. We're not going to really object. It's always good to be able to use more things than not, but it's one thing that you have to kind of go out of your way to go get because, they literally have no uses. And I wish they did have more use than just, being they can solo the heroic pit raid. And other than that, I haven't heard much raid presence or anything outside of that bubble and sphere. But I'm pretty sure at the higher ends you're going to find uses for anything. And what I usually like to do for this team is put it on the back wall of defense. You want to know why? Because if people have a Wampa, that is when they're going to use it, is on that back wall, and you're going to be able to counter him because this team with Cassian, I've made this mistake several times. You just throw in Wampa and you're like, oh, we're all good. Oh, yeah, we're going to go win this now. But no, it doesn't work like that because you need to be able to, you need to be able to just bring in more characters because Cassian's AoE, where he gives you a crap ton of buffs, kind of hurts. And that's what stopped me from soloing this team. So it's a good surprise team to put in your back wall, especially for it's a part of the Hyperdrive bundle. So it's quite usable. It's not like it's not unfathomably unbearable. And as you can see, they're doing work. They're not dying. They're a really living team. That's why they're a good defensive team. And you can also use them on offense too if you need to. Rogue One, it kind of has its niche uses in the game, but you can always put any of these guys also in with Rebel fighters too, with Mon Mothma. So that is another way that you're able to make this work for them. You want to try to put them in the best spot possible, which is what Deep Dive is all about. We want to try to make you succeed with all extents of your roster. Don't mind me, I'm taking a sip of something to hydrate me. Anyways, we're just going to keep rolling. There's not much to it. Rogue One is one of those teams that is really, really good when you really, really need to use them. But if you don't need to use them, they're not the most needed team, I guess, to say the least. It's not like they're a bad team either. That's not the problem. The problem is just that they're really obscure. I don't know how hard they are to farm, but Other than that, they're a good team. I like them. Oh no, he's gonna get healed up. Kill him. Oh, stun works too. And this is the one that spreads the debuffs. Yep. Don't mind me. I'm also reading Discord about the Omicron that I slapped on to Qui-Gon Jinn. This is game set match, anyways. I slapped the Omicron onto Qui-Gon Jinn, and I'm planning to show off that footage to the Grand Admiral because his guide is telling him, okay, you need to wait for a sign of Django and to use your Omicrons on that for territory battles because we already have a hard enough time as it is during territory battles in Geonosian, or on the light side of territory battles and territory wars. But I can see where they're coming from. They're important. Anyways, that is the end of this. To recap, Rogue One, they're a little harder to farm. They can solo the tank, or they can solo the normal pit raid, and even though they're obscure, they can be a surprise team on the back wall as a counter against Wampa, especially if their Wampa is not that fast and you can just use stuff against them. And they can be used well on offense, as clearly shown in this video. Anyways, that is all. I will see you all in the next video.